Chapter 16. The Vision. I'm seeing a warm afternoon, late, toward evening. You know that time of day when the sun gilds everything and the world starts to look a little bit like heaven. The neighborhood is part of a planned community at sometime near the middle of the 24th century. People have wised up about the state of the planet and are being much more careful to use alternative forms of energy. So this is what will come to be known as a green neighborhood. The houses are built into the landscape, and many have organic vegetable gardens growing on the roofs, in the yard, and along the street, which is not paved because it is used primarily for pedestrians walking to local schools and shops. In order to get to the larger city centers, people take solar-powered, flying public transportation. Streets like ours are places where children are clearly welcome and safe. There is a community playground at the end of the street where parents and children are having dinner and relaxing at the end of the day. The conversation is filled with teasing and good listening, the kind of sharing that goes on between trusting people with common values. I can see a web of love and care stretching and flowing around the children and among the adults. There's still trouble, though. It is Earth, after all. I can hear some parents talking about how hard it was for their parents before them to survive the new addictions that have replaced drugs and alcohol. Some have lost both parents to the alienation disease that grows from spending too much time on the computer. These people lost basic emotional and communication skills, becoming empty vessels needing months of withdrawal time in rehabilitation facilities to learn how to relate to others without email. Everyone is also worried about the continuing cycles of drought and bacterial infection that hit the planet regularly as a result of having taken far too long to stem the effects of global warming centuries ago. There is peace and there is happiness, but it is fragile and newly won. As I see these adults interacting, it is clear that they are listening to each other with true empathy. Living love is now a common behavior, thank God. Although the parent-child bond is paramount and lasting, the bonds between friends, elders, siblings, and spouses on Earth now still feel too fluid and changeable for my taste. I can see that Irene and I, being as truthful as we are, will have chosen to be born in this time to help people find that structure and cohesiveness. We will not, thank God, have to battle violence, hatred, and fear. We will have to battle ambivalence and lethargy, but I'm all for that. As long as I don't get signed up for any more extended separations or pogroms, and as long as I never, ever have to watch Irene suffer cruelty again, I'll be fine. For her part, I know Irene will also be happy as long as I don't leave in an untimely way, and as long as she's allowed to fulfill her sole purpose from an early age without first having to write a book. Back to the scene. There I am, flying across the jungle gym, hand over hand, whooping and hollering. I am 7 years old, and I feel the world is my oyster and the neighborhood my kingdom. My name is Stephen, and I am watching everything going on in my small world while I play. I'm not much to look at, a wiry boy with red hair, a big nose, and a shit-eating grin on my face almost all the time. My one redeeming feature is my sparkling, warm blue eyes. And I am a scutch. I tease everyone around me, especially the little girl who lives next door, Judeia. She's a real pepper pot, I like that about her. I like her fire. I also like the ways she uses that spark to defend the little kids in the neighborhood when the playing sometimes gets too rough. There's Judeia now, riding her bike down to the playground. Her mother and father are walking down the street behind her. It's clear how in love they are with each other and how much they adore their little girl and her older brother, who tears along beside them on his own bike. Judeia's dark, curly hair glistens in the sun, and her sweet, knobby knees are pumping that bicycle to beat the band. Her determination is clear. She will most likely be quite successful in helping even a group of amoebas attain cohesive structure. I don't consciously know our future at that moment. We are both only 7, after all. But something about the sun on her hair and her fierce drive touches me in an unexplainable way, making me feel overwhelmingly protective of her at the same time that I want to tease her until she begs for mercy, which I know she'll never do. Suddenly, her wheel hits a rock, and she is thrown from her bike. I am down off that jungle gym so fast my hands are smoking. I run over to her and gently help her pick herself up. Her parents, aware of the bond between us, allow me to step in. As she gets to her feet, I look into her green eyes, and a shock moves through both of us. I feel my heart constrict as if I have lost and regained something unbearably precious, all in the space of a moment. She looks at me with a calm knowing and a simple acceptance. Then I pull her hair. She spits at me and we run off to play. My parents join hers, and they sit together at a table under some trees and begin to lay out our dinner. Our parents enjoy a tight friendship as Judeia and I grow together through the years. School provides a nurturing and cohesive structure for kids these days. It is one of the wonderful, shining elements of our new society. The curriculum is a blast, and the teachers are loving and good. At this time in the future, education is a whole different kettle of fish. After the Great Peace Act of 2201, when all the countries of the world agreed to allocate 2/3 of their defense budgets to health and education, public school became a luxury. We have all been surrounded by individual teachers and learning plans since we were toddlers. This has accelerated our learning to the point that as we enter adolescence, we're just completing our liberal arts educational requirements and are ready to choose areas of concentration. The part of school that used to be hard, the academic part, is now a piece of cake. What gives everyone trouble these days is wondering if they'll pass their conflict mediation and emotional processing requirements. Learning to be kind to yourself 201 is one of the real killers. Learning to meet your own needs without killing others 304 is another. Many children have to repeat these classes 2 or 3 times before they get them right. But not even such a wonderful, human-centered curriculum is enough to keep our social fabric from unraveling under today's stresses. As we approach early adolescence and realize our world isn't ideal, Judeia and I begin having discussions about how we can help. When we reach the age of 12, we'll decide our areas of concentration. It's then that I look at her and the world around me in a different way. Our elders recognize that both Judeia's and my gifts will help our community become more cohesive, so they ask us to attend the school with concentration in the areas of family and faith. We attend this school for 4 years, and our relationship makes a transition from teasing and play to a competitive, scholarly friendship. We need this to survive the rigors of our training. In order to be masters in the areas of family and faith, we have to do hours and hours of self-examination and soul discipline training. We have to be able to look unflinchingly at our own nastiest behaviors and the very real failings of our families. One of our most intense assignments is to go to all our family members and ask them what they would like to see change in the way we treat them. My mother tells me she's sick of seeing me worry so much. Worrying is like breathing for me. I feel if I give up worrying, I might just roll over and die. There is so much real trouble in the world. If I don't worry about it, won't all the trouble just take over and crush everyone? One of my instructors helps me with this one day. He's training me to notice the breathing patterns I fall into when I start to worry, and he's helping me create affirmations about believing that the world will survive. I don't get it, though. I just can't make that leap and relax my muscles and mind in order to let go. One of the foundational beliefs of our school is the understanding that faith empowers action. My instructor cautions me that if I can't put my faith in our loving source into action in a daily way, my channeling will be affected. You see, I have a gift for hearing angels that is very dear to me. I don't want that touched. Plus, I'm really growing to love walking to school with Judeia every day. There is no way I'm going to transfer to another school and interrupt that pleasure. So on this particular day, I am open to a transformation. My teacher looks into my soul and says, "Stephen, think of it this way. Who are you to play God? Who put you in charge of the world? You are masking a need for control as compassion for the planet. How about starting with yourself, healing your own fears, then taking your gifts out into the world to help others?" Well, that makes sense to me, and after I try this advice for a few days, I find I'm a lot more productive and relaxed. I learned to have practical thoughts about my training or my future work instead of feeling fear every 10 minutes. And that's when Judeia begins to let me know in small ways that she thinks I'm something special. She volunteers to chant and study with me more often. She even asks me for help as she struggles through her training. Judeia has a lot more confidence about the world than I do, but part of her future work will involve teaching ritual and speaking about sacred texts. She's struggling with a daily fear that she isn't good enough, that no one will listen to her. Her soul history teacher has explained to her that she has had several past lives in which she lost her life or was punished for speaking truth. She tells Judeia to breathe and remember that her soul can heal any blockage by taking in love in the present. But try as she might, Judeia can't get her leftover fear out of her cells. I sit with her many afternoons and beam love and strength at her while she practices giving speeches. She finally learns to open her heart and let love pulse through her with every heartbeat while she's speaking. That helps her focus more on her desire to help than on her fear. We grow very trusting after many months of helping each other like this. What makes our trust even stronger is the way our chanting and prayer class shows us how harmonious our souls are. Our prayer teacher sits with all of us on a regular basis, and she can see the colors of our souls as we chant. I love the chanting. I have a decent voice, thank God. I don't think my classmates could stand my enthusiasm if I didn't. I feel such joy at opening my heart to the generations of people who created these chants. The beauty of their devotion and love and faith over thousands of years gives me so much pleasure, I almost can't stand it. The only person in our class who chants with as much gusto as I do is Judeia. There's just something about our voices that matches. Her soprano nestles clear and sure around the lilt of my tenor. Our teacher says when we chant, our souls both take on a golden turquoise hue that is beautiful to see. Time passes. Judeia and I are 16 now, and as our futures become more clear to us, we begin knowing what we will mean to each other. Judeia has just won a local competition in public speaking, and she's repeating her speech for our class. We're all sitting in the school's courtyard where there's a fountain in the center of a lovely stone sculpture. It's a warm, early summer day at the end of the semester. The sound of falling water and the late afternoon sun embrace all of us in a gentle glow. I'm sitting on one of the benches near the front, hoping to make a rubber mouth at Judeia to distract her while she's showing off for everybody. I'm so proud of her, I can't think of a better way to express my pride than to try to upset her. But I become so lost in the beauty of her words, I end up sitting there and beaming at her, embarrassing myself completely. Fortunately, this behavior ends up distracting her more than anything else I could have tried. Judeia's speech is about living love as an active behavior to yourself and others. Her point is that even though we have progressed from the horrible emotional cruelties of the dark ages of the late 21st century, there is still work to be done. As I sit there watching the sun play on the dark curls of her hair and watching the pulse beat gently in the silky skin of her throat, I'm struck so hard by an inspiration that I almost fall off of my bench. I realize Judeia and I could work together. We could join my spiritual understanding with her structured knowledge of the sacred word, and together we could teach others how to build a new global cohesiveness of peace and understanding. I don't know whether just to stay seated and cover up my heart-on, or jump up and tell her the news right away. At that very moment, she's saying love is eternal and is stronger than even the divide between heaven and earth, according to a late 20th century couple, Irene and Saul Weinberg. They had bridged the divide in order to reach each other and share heaven's wisdom with people through their love. Now I can hardly wait until she's done talking. I jump up the minute she is and ask her if she will please take a walk with me. "But Stephen," she says to me, "I want to be here with all my friends. I want to enjoy my celebration." Thank God she sees something in my eyes that touches her heart, because I don't know what I would have done if she'd said no. She agrees to come with me for just a few minutes. We go into the garden behind the school. I enthusiastically begin spilling out everything I've perceived about working with her. She looks at me as if I have lost my mind. Then I do what any self-respecting 16-year-old would do when faced with the choice between an erection and an argument. I gently but firmly take her in my arms. I can't believe how good it feels to hold her. I almost melt into the softness of her body against mine. It feels as though I've been wanting to hold her for centuries. I am weak at the knees. Judeia smiles at me with great tenderness and pulls my face close to her own. I kiss her, very softly at first, because her lips feel so warm I could practically die. Then we dive into each other. When we come up for air, Judeia looks into my eyes and says, "I have no idea what the heck you're talking about, but something tells me we have worked together and loved together before. I know deep inside me that taking this on with you is exactly right. I'll always be willing to help you, Stephen, because I will always love you." I am utterly speechless now, which never happens, but I manage to say, "I love you too, Judeia. I love you so much I want to hold you, kiss you, be with you, and work with you for the rest of this lifetime and 1,000 lifetimes more."